Hey, welcome to the Professionally Strong channel. I am Paul Niyama, and I want to help you become the best and strongest version of yourself. And in this video, I want to talk about something that I think a lot of programs out there are missing. Now, without this thing, you may still get to some short-term goals, maybe even defy the odds and reach some medium-term goals. But I think without this, it'll be very hard for you to sustain yourself and reach any kind of long-term goals. And what is this? Well, it is very simple, but I think a lot of people have no plan when they walk into a gym or buy some fancy program or buy some fancy piece of equipment off the internet. So I want to help you define exactly what you want to do, why you want to do it, and how you're going to get there. And in this video, I'm talking mainly about the what, and in future videos, I'm going to be talking about the why and the how.
Can't wait!
So over the years, I've had many clients, and whenever I'd meet somebody, one of my first questions was always, what is it that you want to accomplish? And by far, the number one answer was always, I want to get in shape. And I'd always have to follow that up with, what does that mean? Because it means something a little different to everybody. You know, someone that's just a little bit overweight, maybe getting in shape for them might be losing 10 pounds. Someone that was a lot overweight, maybe it was losing 100 pounds. Or someone that was skinny, maybe to gain some muscle, or an athlete just to be able to run better, have more power in their sport. So in this video, I really want to help you clearly define what it is that you want to achieve.
Are we clear?
When defining your goals, you want to keep them smart. Now, I know a lot of you guys have probably already heard of this. Maybe you've already used this very successfully in your business and professional lives. Well, SMART doesn't just apply to business. It applies to every single goal that you want to accomplish. Your fitness and health goals, no exception. Now, what does SMART stand for? Well, there's many different iterations. The one that I like the best, S stands for specific, M stands for measurable, A stands for attainable, R relevant, and T, time sensitive.
Yeah, that's smart.
Let's start with the first one, specific. Now, there's two main types of goals. The first type is the results-based, and the second type is the process-based. Now, the results-based focus on the outcomes, what you want, and the process-based are more focused on the actions. Now, most people, when I talk to them, they have these results-based goals, like, I want to get in shape, or I want to get toned. Those are okay, but it's very hard to define because they're not specific. Let's look at these process-based goals. Some of these might be, I want to work out 3 times a week, or I want to eat less carbs. Again, these are a little more specific, but they're still kind of general. So what can we do to make all of these a little more specific? Let's look at that first one. I want to get in shape. Well, what does that mean? If, let's say you're a person that's a little overweight, well, maybe it is that I want to lose 10 pounds. That is a little more specific, very action driven, and it is focused on the result. What about tone? Well, tone usually means getting more definition in the muscles. And when I think of tone, I think of reducing that body fat percentage. So maybe instead of I want to be toned, maybe a more clearly specific goal would be I want to lose 10% body fat. Let's look at the other ones, the process-based goals. I want to work out 3 times a week. Well, that is good. That is still better than some of these results-based goals as far as specificity. But what does that mean to work out 3 times a week? Well, maybe a more specific goal was I would want to get to the gym 3 times a week, do 10 minutes of high-intensity interval training, then do some resistance training with some compound movements. Something like that is a little more specific. And then the last one, I want to eat less carbs. Well, what does that mean? Maybe you're going with a keto diet and you want to reduce your carbs, so maybe tracking all your foods and reducing that to 25 grams of carbs per day. I don't know. It depends on your goal, but get very specific. The more details you can add when defining your goal, the better off you're going to be.
That's what turns me on about you. Your attention to detail.
M is for measurable, and this one's pretty simple. Some of these goals very easy to track. Someone wants to lose weight, very easy. You could jump on a scale. If someone wants to lose inches, you could get a tape measure, measure them, very easy. Same thing with if someone wants to get stronger, you can measure their progress on certain lifts. But there's sometimes people have these goals that are a little more abstract. Let's say someone came to me and said that they wanted to not feel out of breath when they're walking up the stairs? Well, that one's a little bit harder to define. You need to get a little creative to find a way to measure that. One way you could do that is tracking the resting heart rate and then tracking their heart rate while doing that activity. And when you remeasure that, if that resting heart rate goes down, well, that is making progress in the right direction. And that's just one example of a way that you could measure something that is a little more abstract.
Just like toned and smaller.
A is for achievable. Now, most of the time when I'm meeting with a client for the first time, they have some pretty realistic goals. I don't have to level set. Once in a while, I have to get a little more aggressive. Other times, I'll have to educate them on what is an achievable goal in the time frame that they want. Now, most of the time when people have come to me, they've wanted to lose weight. And what is a realistic goal? Well, industry standard is about 10 pounds per month. And, sometimes you could get a little quicker, especially if you are someone that's deconditioned, hasn't worked out before. Maybe you haven't worked out since high school. Your diet is very bad. Well, you're going to see the results in the beginning very quickly, a lot quicker than someone that has been working out for a long time, has good eating habits. There's not a lot of changes we can make at that point. So the results are going to be a little slower. So I'd have to adjust the goal based on where their current level is at. Muscle gain, usually about 2 pounds per month. It's a lot slower. It's a lot harder to gain muscle, in my opinion, than it is to lose fat. 2 pounds is a pretty safe level that you're gaining more muscle, not gaining too much fat. It's very easy to gain weight, but most people don't want to just gain weight. They want to gain muscle. So 2 pounds per month is a pretty good level for that. Strength is a little tougher. There's a lot of individuality based on that. Some people just get strong very quickly. Some people it takes a little longer. And when I'm looking at goals, everybody has their long-term goal. That doesn't change. But what I like to do is set some short-term goals, set some mini goals that they can hit. Because if they're hitting these mini goals, they get used to that in their mind. You'll get used to that too. You set some mini goals for yourself and you keep hitting them. You have this habit of, I set a goal, I'm going to hit it. You do what you say you're going to do, and that's a good habit because that'll help you achieve your long-term goals as well.
You can do it!
R is for relevant. So when choosing a goal, you need to make sure it is something that is relevant to you. Not somebody else, not some image you see on social media or on television or in the movies. Something that is very relevant for you. Is it something that you really want? Not some image that you think or what you think other people would want. Something that you want. Because if it's not, it's going to be hard to keep going through those tough times because there will be ups and downs. So you need to find something that really resonates with you, something that you can be passionate about, that will continue to motivate you as times get tough. The other thing you want to consider is this timing of this goal relevant? So an example of this is someone came to me, they're really out of shape, maybe they haven't worked out a long time, don't eat right, and their goal is to be a bodybuilder. Well, that is something they could do, but that might not be the most relevant goal for the short term. That could still be a very good long-term goal, but for the short term, you might need to start with something a little more foundational. I think everybody needs to have a good foundation of working out, eating right, and then once you have that foundation, you could set these more lofty goals because at that point, they're more relevant for you and your current situation.
I'm thin!
And not everybody is going to achieve their goal magically overnight. So T is time sensitive. Give your goal a deadline. Put a deadline on it. Where do you want to be long term and put a date on that? Where do you want to be in the medium term? Where do you want to be 6 months from now? Write that down. Think about it. Where do you want to be 3 months from now? Write that down. What about at the end of this week? Write it down. And I was on Instagram a few weeks ago. Ed Cohn posted this. I think it was a repost. And if you don't know who he is, many people consider him to be the greatest powerlifter of all time. And he put this on his Instagram account. A dream written down with a date becomes a goal. A goal broken down into steps becomes a plan, and a plan backed by action becomes a reality. So write your goal down, put a date on it, come up with a plan, and make your dreams a reality. All right, so Today we talked about the what. What is your goal? And hopefully this helps you to figure out exactly what your goal is. Take some time with this. Spend some time. Write stuff down. It's not going to just happen if it's just in your head. I mean, it might, but it's more likely to happen if you write these things down. Next time, we are going to talk about the why, and that is not a video that you're going to want to miss. So make sure, if you like this video, subscribe to the channel and click on that notification button. Join the notification squad so you can be one of the first people to watch this video as soon as it comes out. I'm going to put show notes for this on the website, professionallystrong.com. I'll put a link in the description so you can go right to there. And I will see you next time to help you become the best and strongest version of yourself.